Welcome back, guys. It is Maverick here, and we are here for another episode of 86. So, this seems to be the last mission, the suicide mission that the rest of the Spearheads, only 5 remaining, are about to set off to. Let me venture a guess and say probably most of them will die here. I expect Shin to survive a little bit longer. We still need to, get through the story, right? He needs to meet his brother, and then we'll have to see how exactly this continues forward here. I do wonder what exactly Lena is going to do to help this situation, though. She's quite helpless at this point, but I don't know. I do think that this episode will constitute a sort of turning point for the anime, right? Where we can really start knowing, like, up to this point, we got the twist already, right? Like, what the Spearheads actually are, what the Swarm actually is, the threat and whatnot, but we don't have a solution in hand yet, or at least a viable working goal that the characters are supposed to go towards. So I expect that will happen in this episode. Let's find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright. Hey, there it is. It's personal now. Though, this kind of goes against what he's been trying to do all along, though, right? Well, I mean, in terms of public and private. In terms of his personal goals, of course he wants to meet his brother. But as the leader of this group, he's supposed to be the last one surviving, right? Take all the ones that have fallen before him to the promised land. Well, somebody's certainly stoked about all this. Since we're starting with Shin here, though, it's hard to say. If I were to venture a guess, I would say probably we will look at this through the perspective of the Spearheads first, before we get Lena's perspective and how she eventually helps out the rest of the gang, right? In her own way. Surprisingly, actually, 86 isn't as well received as I was expecting. I guess maybe because people haven't watched all the way till the latter parts, which would be a valid criticism, I feel. The beginning of this definitely was not, didn't give an indication that it would shape up to be something like this, actually. Then again, we still need to, maybe it's a bit too early to call this, right? But certainly this entire brother storyline is a bit more questionable. Oof. No, seriously though, there's like 5 of them. There's like an entire army here. You can't even eliminate 5. Oh. Huh. No ammo. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? Wow. Yeah, this is really some last stand stuff. Oh, Lena's back. Oh, wait. This is stuff that she called in? Huh. Wow, how were you able to do that, Lena? Oh, so she just... Huh. She can do that? I wonder how she got the authorization to, though. There's some fighting spirit in her. Hmm. I should probably also mention a little bit on the animation quality as well. Even though it is half CGI, right? But I think this is more than acceptable, wouldn't you guys think? I especially love that motor impact thing. Okay. This is just the first half of the battle, though. Hmm. Oh. Pull! So it's really just a kind of distraction in a way. Uh-huh. uh, man. Lena was also banking on that as well, right? He was banking on the fact that his brother would protection. Okay. Huh. Just like that. Alright, he needs to open. Right. One shot! One chance! Let the force guide you. Really? This ended a lot more. This ended way differently than I expected from this. I thought this was going to be the key to defeating the entire swarm and legion. Mm. Oh, man, they really like to put a lot of music. Had to be done. Had to be done. Although, you would think that it was something that's called like a swarm, like a hive mind or something, they would actually be connected with, like they would have like backups of this entity. Apparently not. Alright, this is the first half of the story. What about Lena's part, though? Right, this is after the battle, so. Huh. Okay, so she was the one who helped. Yeah, I was thinking, like, she doesn't have. Even if she wanted to just do things by herself, she doesn't have the authority to do so. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. See? Get her on board first. It was Shin. That's something you need to ask him yourself, girl. Dang. Lena really steeled herself. She's had enough of being the nice girl. Checkmate. Although, I actually would have loved to see, Lena's internal change to this. Like, how she stilled her determination. How she's like, okay, enough of playing nice girl here. I need to get shit done. Of course, there's gonna be repercussions. Let's see how Lena handles that. Hmm. Like, I mean, even if nothing's gonna happen, might not happen to her personally. Literally, she could be ordered to leave this unit. And then what happens then? The call of the heroine. Let's hope you have it next time, though. Oh, so there's more than one day. Yeah, they're gonna go forward. They got a job they need to do. Where are you going? To the commander? No? What she? I don't. Is he trying to see them? Where? I don't understand where she's trying to run to. Outside control range now. There are three. I mean, most probably they're screwed, but they're free. Wow, the music is really... I do wonder if, there's special meaning to that kind of flower, though. I mean, I don't particularly think that they'll just all die here, although I guess it's also possible. But I don't think so. I don't think so. A few of them might die, but it... Flying free. Into the night sky. And there they go. Nice. Nice. Wow, what an episode! And that ending scene there. Even though I'm still a little bit dubious on where exactly Lena is going to run towards. I mean, I guess she's not thinking straight at that point. She just thinks that she wants to go as near to them as possible, so to prolong the time when her communication is going to be cut with them. But the overall how that scene was set up, the music and whatnot, and then the obvious juxtaposition of birds flying around under the grand blue sky, under the night sky, and so on and so forth. That was great, right? And the concept of, I mean, it's a simple concept, really, but basically, even though we're alive in this place, but we're basically trapped, right? We're prisoners. However, out there, it's we don't know what the future holds, but at least we're going to be free, right? We've earned our freedom. They're outside the boundaries of the 86. They can't be controlled anymore. So love that, love that. And honestly, I feel like with this kind of development, though, it actually makes sense on a lot of levels, right? So one thing is that now that they are outside of that, they're gone from the cycle of being sent to do suicide missions, right? At the very least, they have some chance now. They have some hope. Their destiny, their fate is in their own hands. So this will prolong their life expectancy. Now, don't get me wrong. I still feel like my prediction earlier in previous episodes that I feel like most of those 5 will probably be dead by the end of this series. I still stand by that. But, now they might not be dying directly on the 86 battlefield, right? Maybe they're gonna do some more interesting stuff first. And really, I think this makes a lot of sense also on the story level as well, because, let's face it, Lena is going to face repercussions for her actions here. Like, don't get me wrong, she was definitely a badass this episode, and I'll talk more about her later, but, at the end of the day, she's just a handler, right? She's just a major there. One command from the higher up saying, okay, you, even if she doesn't get killed or whatnot, heck, even if she doesn't get arrested or court-martialed or anything, all they need to do is, okay, we're transferring your position, now you go there, or you don't handle the 86 anymore, and the deal is done, right? She can't help them anymore. That's not really going to help anyone in that situation here. So, with things going like this, with those 5 going rogue and whatnot, maybe she can even kind of argue that, hey, at the end of the day, the entirety of Spearheads were eliminated, and so she didn't exactly go against the direct orders or the directive that the higher-ups want, right? And so maybe she can kind of just receive a stern talking to and then still walk away scot-free from this situation here, right? So I feel like even from a story perspective, this makes a lot of sense as well. It's good for the development of the Spearheads, right? They can go further, they can maybe unveil a little bit more of the mysteries behind this Swarm, behind Legion, and also on Lena's side, this allows her a bit more room to try and to try and do something about the situation right there at the capital, right? So it makes sense on a lot of levels, and I do believe that this is a good ending for everyone involved, even though, of course, Lena is understandably miffed that she feels the rest of the Spearheads are walking to their certain doom here. But yeah, anyways, putting that aside though, I have to say I'm not entirely on board. Even at this point, I'm still not entirely on board with the entire, brother kind of situation here. Thankfully, some of you guys did comment on the last episode, or maybe episodes prior to this, the entire backstory to this and why Shin's brother hates him so much or blames him for the death of his father and mother and indeed even perhaps himself. So this might be kind of spoilery, so if you don't want to listen to this, wait until I drop my finger, right? So what I can understand from also other people telling me here is that basically the 86 operate under some sort of draft system, right? So it's just an excuse for the Albas to basically get people to and send them to the battlefield. But due to the size of Shin's family, so they first drafted their father, and then they drafted their mother, and then they drafted Shin's brother as well. And so basically the excuse that the Albas gave was that because there's 2 sons, right? That family has 2 sons, so they need to send one more person there, and so that's how that's why Shin's brother is blaming Shin for the fact that their parents need to go to the battlefield, they need to die. He himself is drafted into the army, he needs to die. But obviously, that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, Shin himself was drafted as well and sent to the battlefield, right? So, so yeah, anyways, that's the story here. And if you didn't want to be spoiled, you can be safe now. So I'm not really sure if they're going to go through the story a little bit further on. I feel like as a part of a complete story, they should have at least explained a little bit the entire situation to viewers, to the anime onlys, so that we can at least have an understanding of where this hatred, where this misunderstanding comes from. I mean, we get the general idea, right? Obviously something drove a rift between the brothers, but they're now at peace with each other here, and with the brother commenting that, hey, Shin's all grown up, he doesn't need to be protected anymore, he's independent own man now, indeed even doing something as to actually help the brother as well. But I do feel like, I've always argued this, right? Anime should be viewed as a standalone work, right? You can't go into it expecting the audience to to read the original manga, original light novel, and whatnot. Like, I fully understand why a light novel or a manga would have more material, right? I've always said that there are very, very few anime that can live up to its original work as an adaptation. It's just a restriction of the medium here. But at the very least, some important plot points, right? Like, why are we doing this in the first place? What is the big conflict between Shin and his brother? We need to at least have that kind of context within the anime, right? So that's what I mean by a complete work. So I'm not, again, it seems that they've concluded the entire situation here, so maybe they're just gonna sweep this aside and whatnot. I don't know. I definitely didn't really feel that part of the storyline that much. I know it's important, right? But still, to me, that definitely was the least enjoyable part about all of this. Like, yeah, maybe it's a bit heartless and all that, but I do enjoy it a lot more when the story is actually full and complete here. So, let us talk a little bit more about Lena, right? Because definitely her character growth and her display in this episode was excellent. I do feel that we should have seen her transformation here, right? Her internal struggle, her monologue and whatnot, like what drove her at the very end to be like, okay, I'm not standing for this, I need to do something, and then just go and do it, right? I already mentioned that she needs to convince Annette first. That's exactly what she did, and so she's decided to take action. I think with this one, she's definitely earned the respect of the rest of the Spearheads and whatnot, and come on, it was awesome, right? Calling in the reinforcements, calling in the artillery, that was great. Especially since originally, you know, the scene was drawn in a way to let us think that those artillery were actually from the Legion's side, right? But no, instead it's from the Republic side. And so that's great, and obviously even though she does suffer some kind of setback here due to all the things that I've mentioned before, I feel like this actually gives her a better basis to try and sort of push her ideals a little bit further on. She's got her first ally now, though, you know, ally is maybe kind of dubious, but at the very least they are, how can I put it, they are partners in crime now, right, at the very least. So you at least have some semblance of a person you can trust there that's trying to do the same thing as you, right? And, you know, it was quite obvious that Annette's childhood friend was Shin and their family and whatnot, but hey, at least that is made clear here, right? So how exactly is she going to push forward? I don't know. Like, first of all, she needs to make sure she doesn't get court-martialed or anything, and then we can continue on to see how exactly she helps from there, right? And I do think that this might be a situation going forwards where we really see two different perspectives and two different storylines separately, because obviously Lena is not in contact with the Spearheads anymore, but, you know, one day, right? Someday. So yeah, this episode, once again, great, especially from the sound design and from the animation perspective. Mwah. You know, there was some dubious CGI, I feel, like, especially the hands and all that, but that artillery scene and whatnot, great. So, anyways, thank you guys, and, yeah, I'll see you guys next week as well. Bye-bye.